Good blessed Wednesday evening, March the 31st, 2022. It's about 5:35 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're the proclaimed toughest or the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. Doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even whether you like me or my YouTube videos or anything that I put on social internet. That's your prerogative. You have a First and a 14th Amendment right. But tonight, what I want to do, or this evening, what I want to talk about is the finalizing of letting you all see how a community that prays together can stay together. I first want to thank God for my two young daughters being courageous at 15 and 16 years old when we was being attacked by a mob of black and whites solely because we didn't want them disrespecting our property. I wanna thank the 600 block of Vine Street. I want to thank all the youngsters, all my neighbors, all my neighbor friends. I want to thank all of them for giving me enough respect being 64 years old, giving my two daughters enough respect, them being 15 and 16 years old, a black man trying to raise his children the right way, a black man trying to keep peace and harmony within his community, on his block, a black man that's standing up against injustice against blacks or anybody else. I think the other people in various other parts of Charleston, Missouri, in the communities that came together when they seen these white and black individuals trying to attack me for no unjustifiable reason. And the video would show it was at least about 15 minutes. Not one police officer came. Not one sheriff department came. And the city manager can be seen riding past in a white vehicle. I don't know if it was a Ford Taurus or one of them Buick LeSabre. I think it was a Ford Taurus. But seeing all that commotion out in the city streets, let alone in the projects, being a city manager, I probably would have called and told the chief to send somebody over. But I thank God for also some of the ranking NAACP members here in Charleston, Missouri. I criticize them a lot, even though me and my two daughters is NAACP members. When they seen that YouTube video and some of their family members seen that YouTube video, seeing how these thugs, some of them was felon, black and white, trying to attack a 64-year-old man that's protecting his property. But what I'm going to do is, y'all know some of the blacks, but I'm going to show you the identities of some of the whites in just a minute. And I want y'all to remember this happened on March the 28th, 2022. This one white individual, I'm going to show you something. This white individual by the name of Brian, and he spelled it like my son name spelled, Bryan, Brian Austin Campbell. Now you remember this was on the 28th. And I'm going to show you a mug shot where later on that night, close by midnight, he's in the Mississippi County Jail. Not for what he did here. He's on 15-year paper too. Back up. For shooting somebody in Sykeston. I think he's tough behind that. But let me show y'all how tough he is. Now, if you look at the videos from March the 28th, 2021, when he seen a few of the blacks that came down, which I know they feel like stupid fools now, especially fighting for some people that didn't even get in the fight themselves. The white people that stay at 302 Warhouse Street, right on the corner of Warhouse and Vine Street. Joshua Think. I spelled his name last time wrong. I put a T at the end, but it's either EFTINK or F. I think, yeah, I believe it's ENTINK. Now, he shouldn't even be living in the projects. But these blacks came down here to defend him, and the community came up against them, and it reminded me of the movie Denzel Washington played in when he was a bad cop, Training Day. You remember how he was doing the community, people in the community? And see, the people in the community got tired of this white guy, Josh. Josh think he's a big mafia figure. I don't care if he worked for John Gotti. I'm not going to stand for what he was doing. Him and his children and his company, black and white, was doing the same thing when they was living at 719 Vine Street until their house burned up on November the 5th, 2021. But you see that shirt? That shirt says, I don't need Google. My daughter, but it should be saying daughters know everything. You see this shirt here? It says stop the black on black violence. You can't tell them ignorant blacks that came running down there with guns at a 64-year-old man and his 15 and 16-year-old daughter and didn't even use them. What if my daughters and me would have blew their heads off? Police would have been everywhere. But God gonna take care of all of them, making them look like fools already. And all you blacks that ran down there coming at us for like that for nothing, all these people, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, all these people on here, they fought for stuff against stuff that y'all doing right now. But let me show y'all three of the whites. The two white females was trying to fight me. The big white female that came on my property, trespassing the police. I know they hadn't seen the videos. You see what I'm saying? Paul Page hadn't seen the videos. But see, he ain't got that police Mark Higgins to bring them no letter. But let me show y'all they pictures right now. Okay, this is Brian Campbell. That's his Facebook page. Now, I want you to take a good. This is Jessica George Meeks. That's the big girl that came on my porch. But let me tell you where Jessica live at. Jessica live on the other side of town on Cleveland now. You see what I'm saying? She was concerned about, she said, her son being in a YouTube video tearing up my bushes, and she can't be too concerned about her children's period because her son, if there was a son, he's over here at 302 Warhouse with the people that live at 302 Warhouse kids doing what they've been doing since December of last year, 2021, putting trash in my bushes and destroying my bushes. You see, she couldn't be too concerned because DCF had to come take the kids because somebody did something to the kids and went to jail and came back out, and she let them right back in. So she can't be too concerned. Yeah, I did a little research on you, Jessica. Now, who we have here? Courtney Joe Shanks. The female that work at Boomland. You see what I'm saying? She says she from Anniston, but she's staying at 302 Warhouse here in the projects where these white people been starting trouble, not just at 302 Warhouse, on Warhouse and Vine, but before they moved there, they was at 719, I believe it was, Vine Street in the projects. But Paul Page, the executive director, didn't have no problem with them burning up the house in November 2021, on November the 5th, burning up a truck, burning up a vehicle, gun being found in the house with a felon. He said it's his wife. It don't make no difference. I know what the federal law said. If you know there's a gun around, you don't supposed to be around in no way. You see what I'm saying? But Courtney's supposed to be living in Anderson, but she lives up in there. Now, Brian, let's get back to, is that all on Courtney? I want y'all to get a good look at them. Now, let's go back to Brian. Brian lives in the 1200 block of East on Marshall Street, on East Marshall Street, in the white neighborhood. Now here's 3 white people, might well say 4 in his family, Josh, and these 3 white people here that been causing trouble. They was trying to attack me and my kids, but the neighborhood came on them like they did Denzel Washington in Training Day. They ought to thank God that all of them is still alive and breathing. Now, this guy here, this tough guy here that y'all seen on March the 28th, told me to come out in the streets only after he seen a crowd of ignorant Negroes with guns backing him up. But if you look back on March the 19th, 2022, when I was videoing showing the trash and he had on his brown coveralls, and he came from off about a 302 Warhouse telling me to take that off, turn my camera off, and I was standing in the streets by my bushes where he was at before, and I told him I ain't turning nothing off. I said, make me turn it off. I said, do you live over here? Do you live over here? He said, no. You see, he wasn't that tough then. You see, now, did we show him the mugshot? Let's get to this mugshot. Look at this mugshot. You see when this mugshot was taken? A little after 12 on March the 28th. You see what I'm saying? So he got locked up for something else. Now, he on 15-year paper. How is he getting out? And they know they seen the video of what he done threatened me, told me, let him catch me by a service station. That's a threat. That was mob action, what he did earlier. But you know he got to be a snitch. But I'm going to get on something else now. Here's white folks coming in black neighborhoods trying to destroy our neighborhood. But let me show you something else about some of them Negroes that came down there with these individuals. Now, each one of them Negroes came down there, running down there, even with Brian. Oh yeah, let me tell you about Courtney. Ask her if she through with rehab yet. We know Jessica don't monitor her kids, or she don't care who be in there with her kids. I bet you ain't nobody did nothing to my kids where DCF had to come. You ain't gonna see my kids out there trying to destroy nobody's property. And you ain't gonna see me acting a fool like Jessica did, which she could have got laid out cold, pulling on my bushes trying to tear them up. Now, I'm gonna tell you this here. As far as with Brian, and the black guys that came down there with him. Now, if y'all remember back in August, I believe it was the 29th of 2021. If y'all need me to give you the video, I'm going to let you see it. I heard a siren coming down Vine Street, so I got my camera and my security cameras and looking at it. The police was chasing behind a car. It was a couple 14-year-olds and I think a 21-year-old in the car the police was chasing. It just been a shooting. Now, I'm going to tell y'all about these tough black guys that came running up on me now. Out here committing crime. All of them have been shooting at people. People been shooting at them in the black community. They ain't been shooting in the white community. But they've been in our black community. These ones came down here trying to attack me for this white family in this house on the side of me. They shouldn't even be living in the project, but they're in the black neighborhood. Now, these individuals, when they was chasing these people got out the car and scattered. You see what I'm saying? And they got away They tossed a gun over there on Boone Street. Boone is about 1 or 2 blocks long. I used to stay on the corner of Boone and Vine when my grandmother was alive. There was a bunch of individuals standing out there in the crowd. Sheriffs was out there. Charleston police. Different police from different agencies. The state police. But guess what? One of the individuals, they blended right in with this crowd. Some of these guys that came down here that was tough on me. That's on paper already. They've been shooting at other blacks and other blacks shooting at them. The police came down there. They don't know who was in the car. They don't know where the gun was tossed. But individuals that was in that crowd on Boone Street and individuals that was on that crowd on March the 28th, 2022, coming down here trying to attack me for this white family that's destroying my bushes and bringing filth down here and being disrespectful to the elders. They told the police where the gun was. Then they said, he ain't in our crowd. He the one that did it, 14-year-old. 14 years old don't normally do it. It's people like them ones that came down here trying to attack me, get these 14-year-olds them guns and then tell on them. You see what I'm saying? They tell on them, but they want to be tough. People know y'all snitches. You see what I'm saying? People know that y'all started getting locked up like Brian Campbell is and started getting out and on 15-year paper. Why Paul Page ain't brought y'all no letter and told you to get out of the house? Ain't none of them that came down here, none of them, black or white, name is on any lease in the project. Not now one of them. You see what I'm saying? Ain't now one of them doing nothing legit in the community. I stand up against crooked judges, racist judges. I stand up against crooked and racist prosecuting attorney. And let me show you something else. You know, you got Susanna Wesley and the prosecuting attorney. They have victim advocates. Have y'all seen any victim advocates come to try to talk to me and my daughters? We was victims of some coward mobs with guns, black and white. Let me tell you another story. 2 good friends of mine. They had a son. The father and the mother is real cool with me. They know who I'm talking about. They stay on the east side. Their son was dating a white female. The white female grandmother didn't like him. He went to knock on the door. She told him to go away. He didn't. She went and got a gun, shot at him. Guess who they locked up? They locked up the little black guy. They didn't lock at the white woman that shot him. You see what I'm saying? Why they didn't lock this white girl, Jessica, up? They done seen the YouTube already. Her trespassing on my property, then go out in the streets, go around there, tearing up on my bushes. They should have her locked up because she ain't monitoring her kids, because her kid wouldn't be in no YouTube if she would have been monitoring. She letting her kids stay over there with people that dealing with meth, people that's dealing with drugs, people was dealing with guns, and you see what type of company they have. All them coward mobs came down here and we turned it into Training Day. In the final part of Training Day. You see what I'm saying? And you seen what they did with their guns and all. They took their cowards behind back where they came from while that white boy was sitting in the blue. You look at the YouTube real good. He had the big fat greasy one, looked like a mountain man. Got on a blue sweatshirt. He ain't lift a hand. He ain't said a word. He put his hand up and them niggas got to running. You see what I'm saying? Coming down here charging at me. They thought me and my daughters was going to run in the house. But y'all take a look at what Boomland hired. Courtney. You see what I'm saying? Boomland hired people like that there. They come in the white neighborhood and tear it up. You go in the black neighborhood and tear it up. You go in the white neighborhood doing what this white family doing, and need Brian, the white guy, the 2 white girls, and them Negroes that came down here. You go in their neighborhood, they gonna violate your probation. How I find out about Courtney and Brian now? I don't need Google. My daughters know everything. I come to Charleston, Missouri 26 years ago to try to stop the black on black violence. I come to Charleston, Missouri to try to bring unity. You see, anywhere I go is unity. Anybody know me when I was staying on Rodney or 8th Street? We had unity there. Negroes like that, they couldn't come. They tried one time, but they never came again. We protected our neighborhoods. And I thank God by this time that the NAACP took a stand. I'm going to tell you, to be honest, Paul Page needs to be out of there. The police chief needs to be out of there. The sheriff needs to be out of there. Because somebody should have been on Vine and Warhouse when them Negroes and them white boys came down there with guns. And not only that, when they come down here and attack a 64-year-old man and a 15 and a 16-year-old girl. But we stood our grounds. Some people said, man, won't you move? But see, if I move, then I ain't doing what God said. You see what I'm saying? God didn't tell Malcolm to move when they bombed his house. Malcolm knew it was blacks that was doing this here too. You see what I'm saying? Nelson Mandela, when he was fighting against that apartheid, he knew it was some blacks that wasn't right. And when he went to penitentiary for them 27 years, when he got out, they had already informed him. People said, well, why he divorced Wendy, his wife? He didn't have to say why. Any of us got good sense. They'll know why. You see what I'm saying? Wendy must not been doing something that she's supposed to have been doing. She couldn't have been about the movement that he was about, because if she was, when he came out, he would have been with her. You see what I'm saying? All you got to do is just think. And then to all the people who family did what they did, black and white, if y'all ain't a part of it, you ain't got to worry about it. But I ask those that did do this here, even though I'm cool with y'all parents, but don't come to apologize to me. Apologizing to me is just like Will Smith apologizing to what was his name, Chris Rock, the next day on Twitter. But apologize to the Academy people. I wouldn't accept it, but I do have to, as God instructs me, to forgive you, but I don't trust you. I look at you just like I look at a active Ku Klux Klan. I'm talking about you black folks that ran up on me. And y'all that's threatened me, I'm going to keep on going out. But see, the difference in me and y'all ran up on me then, but you see, you done already made your threat. And see, when I take your life, because that's what I'm going to take when you come up on me again trying to attack me, I ain't going to try to wound you. I'm going to make sure you don't have a heartbeat. You see, I taught EMT and CPR. That was to save people. But when you talking about attacking me and my two daughters, when you don't have respect for your elders, you don't have respect for my property, you don't have respect for my two daughters, I don't have no respect for y'all. I don't care how tough you is. I don't care how big of y'all crowd is. Y'all showed me what type of crowd you got when you told on them 14-year-old boys that's doing time now, because y'all turned the gun in and told them who he was. But see, if somebody do that to y'all, oh, they snitches. Them little kids that was doing things that grown people had them doing. I know some of them parents, but I'm going to leave with this here. Don't let this age, don't let me not retaliating against a lot of stuff that y'all done did to me in this town. Don't let that fool you now. You see, I don't believe in fighting. If I think I have to fight, it'll be like a war. And see, in a war, I'm going to kill my enemies, where they'll never come back. And y'all can take that to a judge. You can take it to a prosecuting attorney. So the evidence showed that the police didn't care because the city manager rode past. The police unseen the YouTube video. They always come at me when I have certain YouTube on or video on certain people, they'll come. Paul Page seen my YouTube and sent the police to tell me I'm banning off the property. Is you banning all them Negroes off the property? That's fellas. Is you abandoning that Josh and his wife off of there? Because when they were staying at 719 Vine, Josh's wife, I remember fighting with another pregnant girl. But that pregnant girl whooped her behind. You see what I'm saying? And her little baby was out there trying to help her. That's why the little baby's stealing out of people's mailboxes now. And the big white girl, Jessica, I see why her son was tearing up the bushes, because she showed y'all, she said she'll tear them off. But then got laid on her fat behind. Peace be still.